Hello, my name is Ann, and welcome to our Lifting Us Up in Liberty program. Now let's join our broadcast as Pastor Earl Wallace explains how the Bible applies to our personal and civic lives.
Is factionalism keeping us from keeping the main thing the main thing? In 1 Corinthians 4:6, Paul admonishes those who favored him over Apollos and vice versa to not go beyond what is written. He addresses the factionalism in 1 Corinthians 3:3-9. For while there is jealousy and strife among you, are you not of the flesh and behaving only in a human way? For when one says, I follow Paul, and another, I follow Apollos, are you not merely being human? What then is Apollos? What is Paul? Servants through whom you believed, as the Lord assigned to each. I planted, Apollos watered, but God gave the growth. So neither he who plants nor he who waters is anything, but only God who gives the growth. He who plants and he who waters are one, and each will receive his wages according to his labor, for we are God's fellow workers. In 1 Corinthians 4:6, Paul says, do not go beyond what is written. Then you will not be puffed up in being a follower of one of us over against the other. This indicates that factionalism can be used as a tool of Satan to tap into human pride to elevate a cause that deceives us from keeping our focus on the main thing, which is identifying with Christ. In like manner, America's founding fathers did not want political parties. In the Federalist Papers, they called political parties factions and were concerned that if we could be convinced into identifying with a political party, we'd no longer see ourselves as Americans, but will be deceived into abandoning core American values to become more loyal to a political party's platform. We will be deceived into supporting political issues that actually undermine the biblical issues upon which our nation was founded. Satan comes as an angel of light through political issues to deceive us into supporting causes that sound spiritual, but which in actuality undermine the biblical values we say are first in our lives. Satan's key deception was getting us to buy into the lie of separation of church and state, a phrase that sounds like spiritual wisdom, but which, like all lies, has led Americans to be trapped and enslaved aboard a leaky ship of factionalism, tossed about in a sea of secularism without a moral compass. It amazes me that as God's church, we the people called by his name will not research and acknowledge that the First Amendment of the U.S. Constitution is evidence that the concept of separation of church and state neither is biblical and neither does it actually appear in the U.S. Constitution, so we should quit quoting it as if it is scripture. Paul says in 1 Corinthians 4:1-2 that this is how one should regard us, as servants of Christ and stewards of the mysteries of God. Moreover, it is required that stewards be found faithful. The same concept should be applied to our beloved USA and its founders, who loved God and us enough to give us the First Amendment of the U.S. Constitution, which begins with freedom to express biblical Christianity in civic affairs. Focusing on that, and not political parties, is what lifts us up in liberty.
Thank you for listening. We hope you will join us in fulfilling 2 Chronicles 7:14 by repenting and turning to Christ, so God saves your soul and heals our land. For more information about how the Bible applies to every aspect of our lives, including civics, visit us at libertycfchurch.org. Email us at office@libertycfchurch.org. Mail us at P.O. Box 235, Latham, New York 12110. Or call us at 518-545-7744. That's 518-545-7744.